Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Happy to meet all of you again tonight, Wednesday night. So we are in the Zoom again. Okay. So we are about to start. Thank you, Dato, to arrange such a meeting for us. So it has been quite some time already for, I think, more than 2 months. So so far, I think a lot of good response. So I'm thinking we need to continue for some time, especially for this crucial time. Especially this crucial time, the air actually is killing us. Everyone is so worried and so scared of going out. Even wherever you go, you are scared of this unseen COVID-19 virus. Now is mutate to the form of Delta. Okay. So can I proceed to start?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, you can proceed, Mr. Lee.
So welcome. So tonight we are going to start our this very basic why this probiotic at this crucial time we need it is something necessity. It's no more like we say that I think when I need it time I just it. So now it's different time. So I show this picture. The aim is to let you understand that how actually our body using a very powerful weapon that is called this macrophage. This macrophage is actually, when it is activated, it will start swallow. It will swallow. So when normal time, when we are very healthy time without much infection, this macrophage is in some sort like sleeping state or hibernate. So it's in the form of monocyte. But when the body is infected, this macrophage will wake up. This monocyte will become this macrophage. So it will start doing a very basic word called phagocytosis. That means engulf. Whatever is not belong to the body, like just an example, this S protein. This S protein is the spike protein that produced by this coronavirus. And this type of virus is especially good at attacking our lung. The alveoli will be affected. The blood will be clotting there. And finally, the circulation in the blood, in the lungs, there will be clot and we will die lack of oxygen. So this is the reason. So this macrophage will engulf it. It's so powerful. Why? Because it doesn't care what type of shape, what type of structure your S protein mutate. See, coronavirus, they mutate. When they mutate, they produce the S protein different form. So when your body produce a type of very effective antibody to lock this X protein, very effective. But when this S protein is mutated and different type of, so we regard this antibody is just like a key. Key is no more used, can open up or to lock this mutated form of S protein that produced by the Delta form of virus, coronavirus. But when you come to these white blood cells, when they engulf, so it's very powerful whether you are alive or what type of structure you are producing. My purpose is not used on lock and key system. My mechanism is to swallow. When I swallow it, I will engulf it and enclose it inside here, and then it will produce a reactive oxygen species that's very powerful type of oxygen that can rob off its electron, then denature it, and then it was killed immediately. So this is the basic of this, a very natural, powerful defense system of our body. But the question why we still in a loose wall against it. Why it's so effective that we can't cope with it? There are two reasons. The first reason, I treat it as a bowl of rice or a bowl of meat. You treat it like that, then you can understand well. So when this is a human, treat it as a human. So this is a bowl of rice. I provide to this person eat. He has no problem of eating this bowl of rice, a bowl. But when I supply 2 bowls to this person, he will feel a little bit of heavy. But when I supply the 3rd bowl, or even many bowls, to this white blood cell to swallow, definitely say, I can't do it because he is so full already. So this, we imagine back, this one multiplies so fast. White blood cell cannot just like any bacteria or any virus to keep multiplying at the rate, like the rate how they multiply. The reason why these white blood cells is producing ROS. The body actually have to control. The intelligence of our immune system has to limit the white blood cells from not just multiplying at its own will. So the body have to stop it. The DNA of the body definitely know how to stop it from multiplying. Moreover, the second reason, you see there are so many spikes here. So just one corona can produce so many spike S protein. When it multiplies, that means the spike will be 1,000 times higher. So when you come back, swallowing, it just fails. So how the body react? The body has to start producing the antibody. The body has to start producing the antibody to innate the aggressiveness of this protein. Our body needs a lot of protein. Every day, actually, our body are dealing with lots of different forms of protein. Certain proteins that can cause allergy. Certain proteins can kill us. Or certain protein is very good for cell repair works. So this type of protein produced by virus or bacteria, they are actually damaging our immune system. They are especially good. So this S protein, when it comes, our antibody doesn't work because can't lock it in to deactivate its polarity. This S protein's polarity, they just can't. So the body has to set up a way to look for a system, the memory system, to force the body to memorize this S protein. So to the DNA of the cell have to produce that type of antibody that is effective by quantity to lock it down. But again, this virus, when it spread, when it multiplies so fast, even then our body's antibody still can't cope with the rate how they multiply the S protein to the body. that ends up the body, especially the lung system, the breathing system, is totally affected until a stage our blood totally clogged at the region, especially the lung area. Then we will die of suffocation. So that's the reason why I put the word QSSP. The Q stands for quantity. The other one stands for quality. So what type of antibody can destroy this? Or what type of cell can kill it? When these white blood cells or even our antibody fail, our body always has a very beautiful system that can direct confront. They are in the front line to direct combat or kill this whatever virus is the good bacteria. That's called probiotic. This probiotic actually, they are distributing throughout the body system. They like to locate, or the place they stay actually is on the surface of skin. So the human body, the first major immune tissue, the most powerful, that we are covered by skin, whether the skin is inside the body or the skin is outside, exposed to the external world. That's called the external side that we can see. That is our body skin. But inside the colon, inside certain cavity, they are all covered by a layer of skin. And most of this type of skin, we call it the cell membrane, or a thin liner of the cell lining the intestinal wall. So all these bacteria, good bacteria, they will defend our skin. They will defend our skin, because when these bacteria or virus, they come, they like to attack our body's defense system. The number one is the skin. So that's why when you have a very poor probiotic, the quantity in the body, the skin normally faces the first problem: allergic, inflamed, acne, eczema. All these are the reasons. So how to protect the skin is the number one, is to increase taking a lot of this by quantity of probiotics of different qualities. That means in the body, there are many thousand types of different type of probiotic. But of course, there are certain strains, certain species, especially good for the human, is lactobacillus, bifidobacterium. There are a few, and then some of them, these species, then they will form into the different type of strain again. These are very important part. So no matter how, every now and then our body are fighting against virus and bacteria and fungus and spores. All these can cause allergic to us, or can cause sick, or change even our DNA system. We are very much depending on our first line warrior is the probiotic. Now the question is, now we are facing the S protein that even through breathing just can reach us, even you don't go out. Or there are some reports saying that the airborne type of this no more like a living thing. It's just like wherever in the air, when there is S protein, you breathe in, it will cause a lot of damage to your body system already. So now look at another simple example that I want to share to you. You see, look at like animals like dog, like cat. When you look at them, they can drink any water. muddy water or river water or drain water, when they drink, as though they have no problem. They won't get sick. But when we go and drink a river water or drain water or polluted water, like a muddy water, when we drink, we will get sick very soon. And perhaps, maybe the water will kill us because of the bacteria, the virus, the toxins inside this water that we drink. Our body just can't manage it. But why a dog, a cat, or most animals, they can drink that type of dirty water? You know why? Because these animals, the bodies have always alert. They are very active. They have a very strong type of very aggressive, always alert, always working. That means their bodies are having a high inflammation. When these white blood cells, they can cause inflammation to your body. You know why? Because they produce ROS, reactive oxygen species. So when you are healthy, they are sleeping. But when to a dog, to a cat, they have no chance to sleep. So human's body works in such a way that they are not working. That means we have a very low, under control. But to an animal, they have to survive drinking water. So they drink any type of water. They are very much depend on their immune system at high level working. The result is they are short life. They can't live like a human being for 100 years, a century. But when you inject this S protein into the body, that means we set up this into action. The moment we input this one, go in ready, the body has to start working aggressively. All the body's immune cells have to start keep producing a lot of antibodies, keep activating this to swallow them. And then the other part, the probiotic, the number in the body, quantity must maintain. So if you really understand, then that is a very good opportunity to open up the market. Everybody needs probiotic. Whether you go for injection of this vaccine or whether you don't go, you are facing this type of S protein through the air you breathe in or through the injection you injected in. Just a moment. Sorry, I have a call. So we have to go put ourselves in a wellness industry. So I should say congratulate to all of you. You will really understand, you will really realize today, they have no way. Everybody has no chance. You have to set up your body always in an alert. Because you already put in this S protein in the body, the memory has to keep working really. Okay, the body's immune system always alert at a high level already. So you have to take a lot of different forms of antioxidants and even probiotics, multi-type of species. Keep taking every day to prolong your life. If not, few years later, there will be a lot of inflammation that by that time is too slow, too late. So the proximity is the one that how are we going to reach it? The number one standing in front is the probiotic. You can take any forms of antibiotic or antioxidant or any food nutrient, they are still not a living thing. You still need a living thing that can match to another living thing called bacteria or virus. So that type of living thing that can combat and stand in the front line against them is the probiotic or the microbiota. All types, they are staying in the body. The first thing they can defend for us is the probiotic. Another one is how to protect the skin is, of course, we need a lot of these other nutrients. I will touch afterwards. So now I'm going to share this. I'm sure every one of you know that this is bed. Bed means ask you to go to sleep. No matter how good you are, your food, you breathe in the air, you are eating a very good food, you do a lot of exercise. The E stands for eating or stand for exercise. The breathing, the B stands for breathing. The D will stand for drinking water. So you need air, water, food, exercise to maintain your health. But that's not enough. The bed tells you go to sleep. So these are the basic things that how to prolong your life. Healthily, you need air, water, food, exercise, and sleep. And of course, what type of exercise, as I keep mentioning, in the past 2 months, a lot of people, they think that when they go for exercise, they will be very healthy. That is what they understand. But after exercise, there are 5 implicated, some sort like we say, affect our body's health. These 5 conditions after exercise, the aftermath of exercise, dehydration, you have to handle. Your body's lactic acid increase, you have to handle. Your ATP start reduce in quantity. That's why it makes you lethargic, no energy anymore. So ATP reduce. The oxygen level, because used up so fast that they decline the blood oxygen. That's why you feel breathless or even too much exercise. You do not have a healthy heart. You suffer heart attack because lack of oxygen. The last one is too much oxygen being used at a faster rate will produce a lot of these free radical attack. So after exercise, there are 5 areas you have to look into it, how to do a lot of remedy that to protect you. So just exercise without how to do the recovery after exercise is equally harmful to the body. So exercise is just a way of helping the body to detox, to gain energy back through the better blood circulation. But if you do not handle the after exercise, the 5 conditions that implicated, that means it's equally harmful to us. And last, no matter how, you need to go to sleep. So the body is able to sleep or not able to sleep well is something related to our hormonal system. And this hormone is actually produced by the good bacteria in the gut system. So air is so important. It represents that agent improving the respiration. It's not just the oxygen. What is that agent? Do you realize? Respiration, definitely we need oxygen. But how to enhance the body to get use or to utilize the oxygen you breathe in? What is that agent? That agent is the negative charge ion. So when the air you breathe in does not has enough negative charge ion, you get the oxygen, you still suffer oxygen deficiency. So that means we need negative charge ions throughout the body to accelerate the uptake of oxygen for the cells. How about water? Water is wonderful atom transforming energy recovery. And do you know that atom that can give us energy recovery? And you go back very basic, water is H2O. So that atom is hydrogen again. And of course, when hydrogen and oxygen, they synthesis together to form H2O, that's called energy transform. The food means feeding oneself organic diet. We need to ingest a lot of this organic diet. But how organic it is, the food today. So people are promoting organic diet just by namesake. When the soil is not in an organic way, you are using a lot of fertilizer, how to produce a healthy organic food. This is, people are not looking at it. Life, living, survival. That means when you talk about life, the air, water, food. So air is killing us today. Everybody are so scared. The lifespan of a cell, the lifespan of a probiotic, actually, they inside the body are dealing with these two basic things, hydrogen and oxygen. So you talk about survival is actually what is containing in the food, what is containing in the air, what is containing in the water is actually hydrogen and oxygen, that how the cell or the other type of called probiotic that lives inside our body, how they manage the hydrogen, oxygen, and the electrons. Of course, we are not going to touch much on this living. So when we talk about living, you need cash, you need to go for travels, property, buying properties, all this. So people are now talking about fighting for survival. So number one, that when you take a lot of food, when you mention that antioxidants, actually you are talking about electrons and hydrogen. When you are talking about air, actually you are talking about oxygen without realizing that the air contains the most important agent that's called negative ions. When you talk about water, it's actually you are talking about hydrogen again. So when these two works together, they actually share electrons. So when they works together, actually the reaction is called reduction or reduce. And oxidizing, that's called oxidation, this is called reduction and oxidation. When you join them, that's REDOX, that's called redox. So the body has to, no matter how the cell or probiotic for the system to work for the cell is actually doing a very basic work of redox. So one give electron, one drop electrons. So when these two burn together or they join together to form a molecule, that process is rehydration. It's beyond hydration. Hydration is just you are drinking H2O. But when you take your body derive hydrogen from the food you take and breathe in the oxygen, then they combust in the cell or even inside the probiotic. Actually, they are doing a rehydration work that the aim, actually, manage the oxygen, manage the electrons properly in the presence of hydrogen, that effectively control the oxygen from destroying our DNA, that at the end we has the best method to prevent cancer. So between them, there is electrons sharing or robbing each other. That chemical reaction is called redox. It's called redox. So you see, if today you want to protect your life, you want to set up your immune system. What is immune system? The first thing is to improve your redox situation, the oxidation and reduction in your lung system. The lung cells replace and repair themselves faster than any other cells in the body. Do you know why? Because the lungs is the only internal organs that contact the external world, the air. So whatever in the air contains any living microorganisms or pollutants, the lung has to carry out a very simple, basic chemical reactivity that called redox to destroy whether it is the S protein or any other toxic gases. That is the thing. You breathe in some toxic like chlorine. Chlorine wants electron. So your blood system contains a lot of these electrons supplied to the lung. So what the chlorine wants is the electron, because chlorine is a very highly oxidizing agent. That means when it is a oxidizing agent, it robs electron. So happen that you can supply a lot of electrons to the lung. Then you breathe in some chlorine, then the lung is not damaged. The same applies when you have a lot of these, a good redox system that works in your lung system. Even you breathe in some of these, small amount of this S protein, your life is still very safe. But of course, when you breathe in quantity, in concentrated form, like the air now also exposed to high quantity of S protein that floating in the air, especially the air contains a lot of this positive charge that floats, or a lot of these unnecessary contaminants, including the S protein. You breathe in quantities, then the redox system cannot compete with the attack, then you fail, then you suffer the lung damage. So that's why we have to use a face mask so that to prevent ourselves from breathing in, even though you breathe in a little bit, but you have a very good respiratory system that carry out the redox system, you are basically protected. So repair is still depend on your redox. The defense, the first defense the body has to set up is the redox system. Look at the liver itself. Also, the phase one is using the oxidation reduction and then using the water hydrolysis and hydration, because the wetting. The hydrolysis is very much talking about the OH minus that contribute most free state is the water. Water contains the most, but of course I'm talking about the water when it is good quality water, they should supply you free state of OH minus. So to drink this type of OH minus, you have no other ways. You have to drink certain electrolysis through called electrolyzed water, reduced water, called ionic water. So this type of water contains a lot of OH minus that can improve the first phase of your liver. The first phase is to do detox. So how the liver works to do detox? it has to carry out the redox system, hydrolysis, hydration, and dehalogenation. There's something iodine, bromine, chlorine, and some other things, of course. These are the few. So the first phase also needs some vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12. You look at this, vitamin B, what living things can produce to us is the microorganisms such as probiotics. We need them badly every second. Just like the lung, every second needs to carry out redox to protect the lung without fail. So vitamin B is water soluble. So when you drink, you consume any supplements that taking vitamin B, once they are not absorbed, they are soluble, the body cannot absorb them in the time frame, they will be discharged out through the urine. So 24 hours, the body needs B2, B3, B6, B12. You need probiotic, hoping that this probiotic makes a lot of B2, B3, B6, B12 to you to repair your skin, your liver, your red cells needs a lot of B12. The folic acid and the glutathione is the hydrogen battery that produce hydrogen to you. And then the flavonoids is actually talking about the molecular shape. That there are group, different types of shape. The flavons, all this. The phase 2, of course, is to dispose of whatever that is not absorbed by the cell, including the vitamin C you are ingesting and the vitamin B you are ingesting. Once it's not absorbed, they are considered waste. So you have to eliminate them. So once you drink a lot of this vitamin C, you produce a very expensive urine, a very nutritious urine to you. So of course, the phase 2, they are going to do all these functions that I'm not going to touch. So although electron, so I'm talking a lot of this living thing. Living thing, electron is not living thing. But electron has one characteristic that it travels. It spins up and down. And it travels, never travels in a straight line. Actually, electrons travel in an arch or a circle. When the arch is small piece, then it's very big. So it depends on the energy state of the electrons. So when electrons travel, actually, they create a surface. An area is created. An area is created. So this area is called electromagnetism, that it can attract things. So our body, once do not have enough free state of negatively charged that carry the electron, actually our electromagnetism is very poor. So why oxygen becomes paramagnetic? Paramagnetic is because oxygen has nature by itself to rock electrons. So when it rocks an electron, actually is receiving electrons, then the oxygen becomes paramagnetic. Paramagnetic. So for that oxygen to uptake to our cell, the cell must have supplied enough electrons to attract the oxygen to go into the cell. That's why all the cells must have, the first thing has a very healthy mitochondria. Because when the cell has large quantity of mitochondria, that means the oxygen can go into the cell. So when I ask you to draw a cell under a microscope, you will surprise that the heart cell, a small cell that is not, that we can't see a cell with our naked eye. But when you draw what is inside a heart cardiac cell, You know how many mitochondria you are drawing? At least 5,000 mitochondria in a cell. So when the cell does not contain enough mitochondria, that means the cell can't work with electron. So the cell will suffer oxygen deficiency. The cell will die. The cell will die of suffocation in fact also, because there is no electron, the oxygen will not go in. The liver cells contains the most mitochondria, come to higher than the heart cardiac cell, 7,500 mitochondria. So you can see that the body actually are dealing with a lot of electrons in the body. Oxygen is one of them. Mitochondria is one of them. A lot of these chemical substance in the body are dealing with them. So the protocol today, how to protect, we are having this COVID Delta form. You need Dr. 23 Pro Life Probiotic because it provides you the highest CFU so far in the market. You need vitamin D3 because the skin is the most important among all types of immune agent or immune organs. Because it is the largest, it protects us. So how to protect your skin, to set up your first defense is your skin. The skin must be healthy. So take vitamin D3 is something quite urgent at this day. So I'm taking also D3 now. Before that, I seldom take, but now I start taking because I have to keep. I cannot just confine myself at home. I have to keep. Sometimes I have to go out to market. So how to protect the skin first from not infected? So take vitamin D3 and drink water containing OH minus. Then, of course, the cells are looking for hydrogen, and that form of hydrogen actually is hydrogen negative form called negative charge hydrogen. And the blood by itself is called a colloid. A colloid. We need the blood system. The blood must function like a colloidal system so that it can use the surface to carry a lot of charges throughout the body, distributing them at speed, at rate, and then to improve the osmotic flow especially in the venous region there, or the lymphatic system. We need a lot of this colloid. So the blood cell is a very natural form of colloid. That's called, in Chinese, say, ball. 红血球, the ball, the 球. That's the Chinese will describe that type of ball. So there is a type of microcluster, a good form of microcluster that produced like this, Dr. Patrick Flanagan, that it enhances is all the atoms are being utilized as surface contact. So look at this, there are 14 atoms. An example, I just like to see. A normal colloid that most people we are taking through the food, especially when you take certain minerals, their colloids are just like that. So some of the atoms are concealed inside. They cannot be used as a surface for contact. So they basically here got 14 atoms for surface contact. So can lower the surface tension of your body's water. They can increase the body's OH minus as well. They can transport a lot of nutrients. So hoping that our red cells are doing this part, but most of the time we fail. That's why we need a lot of these other forms of colloids to come in. So there is one type, it's called hollow inside. That's called a ball shape. That's called clay bucketball. The surface created per volume area ratio is very high. Because you need a lot of vitamin C. The white blood cells very much depend on vitamin C to generate ROS, because vitamin C supplies electrons for respiratory bursts, so that these white blood cells make use of these vitamin C's electron and to convert the oxygen into ROS to kill the bacteria or virus. So when the white blood cells are not functioning well, most of these vitamin C will be used for the skin for collagen purposes. So that's why you have a very healthy skin. But when you are under attack, this collagen that comes from vitamin C will degenerate or deform, degraded. They will be destroyed. So that's why the collagen of the skin will be under attack. So finally you have acne, all these problems. So to protect them back, you need a lot of vitamin D3 to protect. Because when we are under attack by certain proteins or certain chemicals that we expose to from the air or from the touching of the skin. So we need all this. Of course, you need the zinc because zinc is very important for the genetic expression. And of course, the last one is, I don't put in here, is the hormone, is the serotonin. The serotonin that you need badly or else you can't go to sleep well. So before we want to take some health food, we better understand how your body works by discipline of nature. So are you looking for solution? That means you have to understand how your body works. How your body works means you have to understand the composition of your body. You look at it, your body actually contains by elements. The highest is oxygen by mass, 65%. But when it comes to atomic atoms, the number of atoms in the body is hydrogen. So these two ones depleted, either one of them depleted, the first defense of your body is called the red dot system will be affected. No matter how you take any antioxidant or no matter how you take any good form of protein, that means you fail. You fail the first defense. So the hydrogen and the oxygen is key role to set up the very basic system in the body is called redox. So of course, the protein that cause your life and also builds your life. When that protein is like S protein, it will attack us. When the protein is good, it will repair for us. So proteins works very important. So we had a protein war in our body every now and then. Every second, even you sleep. So the liver plays a very key role in managing your protein also. And your kidney also. Once you lose so much protein, your abdomen losing so much from your kidney discharge, then you suffer this kidney problem, kidney damage. When your abdomen is losing so much that the abdomen is one of the natural powerful colloids that builds your blood system. When you do not have this enough albumin in your blood system, that means because of leaking, you urine out too much, you are losing a lot of this type of protein. That means your blood colloidal system is not working well. You will suffer. That's the end of the life also. So that's why the protein is very important. Some of these protein will form into peptides. Some of these protein will form into amino acid for repair works. Some of these protein will form into peptide, then generates into a long chain, rebuilding the hormone, of course. So no matter how, today, we are dealing with protein. That's why we inject the S protein to inflame the body. Now, you already injected this inflamed protein. You have to take probiotic. You have to take very good form of antioxidants. And I have to emphasize, one of the best form of hydrogen is antioxidant is from hydrogen. This hydrogen, among the hydrogens, that is the best form is still the negative form of hydrogen called negative charge hydrogen. Hydrogen has a few types. That's called deuterium. deuterium, and the other type of hydrogen is called tritium. So what we want is the safest form of hydrogen is called protium. Hydrogen has different forms. So there are some products in the market, they are selling deuterium form of hydrogen. And mind you, be careful. Do not take that type of heavy hydrogen. That is called deuterium form of hydrogen. You just can go into internet and type deuterium. D-E-U-T-E-R-I-U-M. Deuterium. If you are ingesting a lot of this heavy hydrogen, it's harmful to you as well. So the physical world is actually made out of atoms. And atoms actually make up of energy. That's called enthalpy. E is equal to mc squared. The E is energy. The M is the mass. The mass is containing a lot of atoms. And then multiplied by the square of speed. That's called energy. So that means every atom restore their own consciousness of energy. So when you take hydrogen has its own form of basic energy. When you take like chlorine, you take calcium, you take sulfur, you take phosphorus. It's very important for energy production. That's why ATP called phosphate, adenosine triphosphate. So the phosphor will give you another forms of energy level. So our body actually depends much on the molecular that generates by the cell is called the ATP, that's called this phosphate. So look at the body actually is composed of by 27 times 27, 0 here. I don't know how to read. Sorry. If someone know how to read, just afterward can share to me. I don't know what is the term to describe 7 what. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 3, 27. 7 times 27 0 of atoms in the human body that actually works in the redox system. So anything wrong with this redox, a very basic for survival, we will having a lot of problem. That's why now this S protein is actually destroying our redox system. That's why you see, we need a lot of this oxygen and hydrogen that handle our electrons. So cellular redox system actually is called hydrogen and oxygen are very basic. So examples of some website that show the importance of redox. Redox is for anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and handling the free radical in the body is actually the redox modulating agent. So the virus, they come out all types of drugs, handling the body's, the medicine, handling the body's redox. So what else today you take can improve your redox system in a balanced way? The first thing is the probiotic, I tell you. Because probiotic works for you. If you were to just take certain chemicals to improve your redox, yes, no doubt, that is good, but they are all synthetic. They are actually improving you know how, but in the long run, they bring equally harmful. There's only one thing that can improve your redox system is the living, micro-living, because they exist everywhere. They have to protect your cell. So they locate on the cell's membrane. They form the defense system for you. So whatever toxins or this viral producing this protein to destroy the redox system, this probiotic, they are the first defense system, rather than waiting for your body to produce the antibody to destroy the S protein, or to waiting your macrophage or your monocyte must wait up to become the macrophage to swallow them, to engulf them. That is too late. That's a QQSSP, the speed. is too slow. So the one ever ready to defend your cell membrane is your probiotic. And then the research discovered that the lattice, a type of species, a type of strain that's very good for the lungs, protecting the lung system, the redox system is the lattice. So that's our product contains a lot of these lattice, LACTIS. Okay, so you can read through. So no matter how, you need the redox to recycle your iron for reabsorption. Because iron are oxidized. Iron oxidized, so the body cannot absorb the iron. This iron, so when you cannot absorb the iron, you will suffer anemia, a type of anemia, lack of iron. But when your body lack of probiotic, you also suffer another form of anemia. That's called pernicious anemia, iron deficiency anemia or pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia is very common among people, especially they are just taking vegetables only. Today, this morning, I'm having in Ipoh, I meet a person that he is highly on this, just taking vegetable. He admit that he has a red cells bigger size. After he attending this, my talks, my presentation, he realized that yes, he has a big red cells. So he has a lot of some health problem there. So when you take this vegetables, you have no choice. You have to take probiotic because probiotics help your body to supply you enough B12. I'm sorry to tell, if you don't take meat, you will suffer B12 deficiency. If you take a lot of these drugs, especially certain diabetic drugs, your B12 will declines in the body. That's why no matter how, when you take these diabetic drugs, your blood glucose cannot go to normal level. Is because you take the drugs, you are destroying your body's cell system. The red cells cannot form healthily. Then at the end of the day, your red cell cannot carry oxygen. So you face some limitation to increase the metabolism. So the blood glucose cannot lower to a normal level. So some people are frustrated no matter how they change the blood, their medicines, the blood glucose is still beyond certain level. They cannot go to the normal level. But once they take this probiotic, the blood glucose drop. Because why? This probiotic works very well to produce a lot of B12 to let your body to produce a healthier normal size of red cells. So you are improving yourself. And people with this suffering this thalassemia, they have to take probiotic. There's no choice. People with this D6PD, there's the deforms another form of the cells, genetic. They have to take probiotic to improve the digestive system, the blood system, the oxygen level in the blood. They have to take. You just go and try and take this probiotic, especially a high CFU, you will see what I'm saying is true. So the richest element in your body, you have to understand your body first. The richest is the oxygen. You need oxygen, you need to transport oxygen, you need the blood. But what is blood? Blood is actually contains red cells. 80% of our blood system is 80% is red cells. So it's occupied more or less. How many percent you see? 30 trillion is 80% of them is 25 trillion, more or less. Your body is at 30 trillion of cells. 80% of them is 25 trillion are all red cells. So when your body does not have a healthy red cell, the colloidal system is affected. The oxygen delivery is affected. But for these red cells to not clump together, you need the charge in the blood, the negative charge in the blood. So every second, the red cells are dying by millions, 2 to 3 million. If this is a normal rate, I'm talking a normal rate. But what happened to a person who has red cells are dying beyond 3 million, 5 million, they are suffering. They die so fast. The body is inflamed. The bodies have a lot of gases problem. The body is suffering a lot of these toxic bacteria infection. So how to handle this? The number one is the probiotic. It's not any antioxidant. It's the probiotic. I tell you. That's why when a woman starts pregnant, no matter how, they have to take B12, folic acid, all this. And the best is to take probiotic. It's not just taking the B12 only. Take probiotic is the best. It solves a lot of problems for you, for your own self. You have your own self because you understand how your body works. So your body is made of multi-cell that forms various organs to run the various system. That an example, you need to form that system, digestive system to break down the food. But when it comes to the probiotic, it doesn't work that way. A unit cell doesn't depend on to form an organ and then finally forms a system that by speed is too slow, too late. They have to work independently. But of course, when they work independently, they have to coordinate. They have to together, many together. That's called CFU. But they themselves don't form into a system. They have to be just by number to eat, and then to kill the bacteria, just something like that. Then to keep generating a lot of good things to you. They swallow a bad thing, like a bad protein. They produce back a good protein to you. That is called probiotic. Whatever is not good to you, they will take it. Then they die. They will become a good thing to you. So they works in your body. They eat from what you eat. They won't eat for free. They work for you. When you eat some prebiotic food for them, they are healthier. They work back for you. They don't eat free from you. They're actually working for you. So you need to eat something good food, good prebiotic for them. But our products have this prebiotic as well together. So let's you think some puzzle for you to think yourself. Is it the cell or atom or molecule that works for you? Actually, it's not just the cell. So some of these people are just keep talking about cell food. But they have forgot that the cells are actually composed of different types of atoms. Or these atoms join together to form a molecule. That actually the atoms and the molecule and the cells inside, they are working for you. Then how about the probiotic in the body? They also work for you. Not just your body by itself. They are working for you also. Very energetically. What's the richest atom that occupies your body? Atom, it's not oxygen. The richest atom is hydrogen. So whatever you take today, the best form producing you the hydrogen, easiest way is the sugar. Because sugar contains C6H12. There are one single glucose will give you 12 hydrogen. And that this hydrogen, when they burns in the body, they together in the presence of electrons and oxygen, they rehydrate you. How about the quantity of electrons in the body? Is always much higher than the atoms of hydrogen also. So we can say that the body is actually needs a lot of electrons. So the richest element in the universe is hydrogen, followed by helium and oxygen. Because of this, you can't escape from hydrogen and oxygen that initiate the redox reaction. So today, I hope every one of you how to protect yourself, what else can improve to take care of your very basic cell system. The respiratory system of every cell is the redox system of every cell. So probiotic actually doing that part, because probiotic does not have to depend on what type of system. They will break the glucose. They will break certain molecules producing hydrogen to you. That's why some bad bacteria, they produce too much hydrogen to you, that give you difficulty. But in the presence of good probiotic, it works back. They control the hydrogen back. That's why when you go for a bad breath breathing system, the doctor will ask you to take those lactose, high lactose, then you breathe out. Oh, you have a high hydrogen through your breathing out. Then you have a bad bacteria producing too much hydrogen in your breathing system that give you gas bloating. So you take this good probiotic, they rebalance your hydrogen production. There's no other health food can do this. It's just only probiotic. Of course, you have to take the right form of probiotic, and this probiotic is lactobacillus. Okay, lactobacillus. So some electrons, the microbes, they are taking electrons. Some microbes are rejecting electrons. So they affect your body's electron levels. You get sick. That's the reason that why disease is spelled in such a way. Deficiency in supplementing electron, always sick every day. That's called disease. So once you do not have a good balance of electron supply, the oxygen, lack of electrons, this one get one electron, without the second electron, it cannot convert into this. So an atom or a molecule of oxygen always at least need 2 electrons, so that to inert it into hydrogen peroxide to kill the bacteria, then finally form into water. Okay, so this is a very basic work that the body works, how to eliminate the reactive oxygen species using electron. That's why you need a lot of antioxidant. It's the reason that antioxidant supplies you electrons. But this antioxidant you are taking, they cannot provide you free electrons. They are very much depend on the body to work on them. So once your body cannot work on these antioxidants, the body is lacking certain enzymes to work on this antioxidant. I mean, it's rather ineffective. But when your body has enough probiotic, or you take this negative charged hydrogen, it will direct supply these free state electrons to handle this oxygen properly. Of course, the body has another defense system called dismutase, superoxide dismutase, to destroy this superoxide. The dismutase, a type of enzyme that destroys this superoxide. When you do not have this electron enough supply. That's why body is a very beautiful machine. When you lack of this, you have another way, alternative way to protect you. But so happen that because the bacteria also produce this SOD, so your white blood cells sometimes fail to kill them. They produce the ROS to kill the bacteria, but the bacteria cannot be killed. Because why? They produce their own system of SOD. So they use their own system of SOD to destroy the ROS that produced by a white blood cells. So they keep multiplying. So who else can do this? There must be a war against them. There is the probiotic once the body fails. So look at this, the colloid. The blood cells is a colloid. It's not just for carrying the oxygen. See, so these red cells function as the most natural, powerful colloid. That's called ball in Chinese say. There you see why it's sink down. There is a concave inside there. Increase the surface of contact. Increase the surface of contact. So for a colloid to work well, try to be as hollow as possible. That means thinning, so that the surface contact is increased. So that's why you see when you take some forms of colloid, microcluster, the Flanagan microcluster is one of them, is the best colloid so far by atoms. volume per area ratio. The surface per volume area ratio is the Flanagan microcluster. It can work like to make the red cells strong, healthy, to open up them so that they are not overlapping. The surface is covered up, so the oxygen is sealed inside, hidden inside, cannot be released. To release the oxygen, you need the pH buffer system. That one day I will talk a little bit of this pH buffer, but it's a bit technical. So how and why the probiotic works? It's actually, it forms a lot of vitamin, peptide, amino acid, natural, most powerful antibiotic synthesis. So when you get sick, take probiotic, when they will produce a lot of most natural form of antibiotic to you. They form a barrier to reinforce, to protect your gut, your intestinal wall, your colon wall. This probiotic that way. There's no other supplements can work that way. Even then, you take the best antioxidant, also cannot. Okay, you need bowel salt metabolism. You need the probiotic. You need enzymes in the body. You need probiotic to carry out. Because only living things can marry a metal and a protein together. That's called metalloenzyme. Metalloenzyme. That's called SOD, is one of form of this metalloenzyme. The toxin neutralization. You need probiotic. The strain, of course, what type of species, and the species among the species, the same species, what type of strain is for what purpose. So all generally the strain is for controlling, balancing our cytokine, because once the body cannot manage this cytokine in a balanced way, we had a cytokine storm, then we had a trouble, allergic problem, sick or inflamed problem, all this finally end up in maybe cancer. The immunomodulation, you need the strain. The endocrine system is it works very well for your serotonin. 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut in the presence of this probiotic. Without this serotonin, you can't sleep well. That's why some people, they are forced to take 5-HTP, 5-hydroxytryptophan. The tryptophan, once hydrated, hydroxyl it will become serotonin. It's a precursor of melatonin. When your body you go into sleep, what makes you go into sleep is the melatonin. But what makes the melatonin rises up is the serotonin. So serotonin works like a circadian. It has a time conscious that when the sunset comes, the body's serotonin will slowly by itself to convert into melatonin that makes you tired, force your eyelids to drop, and you go to sleep. Then once you sleep, your liver is healthy, your cortisol start drop, then your toxins are not that high. So sleep is the most important thing. These are the part of it, okay? So we need how to generate the peptide. We can go and outside and take something peptide, but sometimes beware. They are synthetic or not. They are genetic modified or not. But when you take probiotic, actually you don't have to get worried. This probiotic will synthesize a very bio-organic form of peptide to you. This is the most important part. You have to look into the safety side of it. Because peptide is very important. Peptide is very important. So probiotic, the most important thing is living. Nutrients is not living. So when it's a living, you have to eat, then it works for you. It makes the body work. You are taking a lot of nutrients, the body has to work on them to make them work for you. So once the body is weak, the body's lack of certain things, relativity, like you take calcium, you need magnesium. You see or not? You take zinc, you need vitamin C. That's why it's effervescent C. You see or not? So this will actually, two things arises. Probability, that's one of them, because due to uncertainty. It can happen that way, it can happen the other way. So always work in probability. That is one of the reasons that we need this. The other thing is relativity. Relativity because of impermanent. Impermanent. Okay, so no matter how, we take a lot of this probiotic for the body is to help us to lower the blood glucose is the number one. So want to lower the blood glucose is to improve the red cell system first, the colloidal system. Take probiotic. To improve the nervous system is to take probiotic. Okay. So this, of course, the liver, the lung system have to produce a lot of this glutathione. This is the colon system. This is generally for the blood system. The bacteria always defeat our cells because we depend on building a system. Bacteria doesn't work that way. So we are always slower than them. They produce very fast. So we cannot just depend on white blood cells. If today the white blood cells so powerful, they swallow it, why? We still get sick. The body works on another way, is the antibody. Still fail because no matter how you produce the antibody, you still cannot cope with the protein that produced by these bacteria, then by number, the quantity. We still fail. So the person that can help us multiplying at the rate like that also is this probiotic. Is this probiotic. Okay, so hope you understand. That's why at this very crucial moment, every one of you are so worried there's no point. Take probiotic, at least 4 sachets a day. But when you go to hospital, a very infectious area, take more than that. You know that today you are going to a hospital for injection or any other things, then take more of it. Okay, so always think of the best natural, powerful way of antibiotic is your probiotic that can give you. It generates a lot of this natural form of probiotic, antibiotic to you. It's the probiotic. They work as your first immune system. They take care of your skin, the skin system. When the skin is healthy, you will be healthy. So pernicious anemia is something the red cells are not healthy. So the skin is the number one. If your skin is not growing, your skin is not healthy, you have a very poor system of your immune system that relates to lack of probiotic in your whole body, not just in your gut system. So once you have a healthy gut, that means you have to, what is called healthy gut, you need secretion, digestion, absorption, and motility. So first of all, you have to protect. You see, this is the layer that living with a lot of these good bacteria. The first line, the 3 lines, the first line, the first barrier. So the bacteria want to attack, cannot. So they will form into acetate, form this. See? So you take antioxidant, also that doesn't work that way. So you need the probiotic as well also. How to protect this? So once this is not protected, you see the bacteria will destroy the cell system. Then it's become a leaky gut. Then the toxins will go in like that. This is the blood that I take during when I do a lot of personal research on the white blood red cells. So that's one of the prospect that the blood I take. Wow, I look at it, the blood contain a lot of this. So this person is very bad shape of health, facing a lot of problems. So acetate, you need acetate, take probiotic. So how to choose a probiotic is the guidance that I tell you. The first thing must have a quantity, quality. Well, the speed, it doesn't fall. Probiotic doesn't have to form into any system. It just works on itself. So it makes a lot of food, even a glucose, or it makes them a lot of this food into ionic state. Then they travels, they throughout the body. They know where to go. That is their intelligence system. So we had a very high quantity CFU, 110 billion. A company only give you 6 billion. Selling per sachet is 5 ringgit. A U company will give you 12 billion, but they are selling more expensive. 6 become 12. So selling more expensive. So 80 company will give you 3 billion, will sell per sachet is 1 ringgit and 50 cents. So compare. 3 times 40 is 120. So that means we are more or less 40 times. So how much do you think we have to sell to you? I think easily our product can sell more than 10 ringgit per sachet. So we are selling a live probiotic. It's alive. So how to make sure that the probiotic you are taking, the quality is alive or not? So check yourself. Buy a fresh milk, a bottle of fresh milk, whether it can convert this fresh milk into yogurt or not. That's why if you are taking a certain form of probiotic, they cannot make yogurt from fresh milk. I'm sorry to tell you, you are just buying a namesake. You know what to buy, but you don't know the quality, how to know that I'm taking the QQSSP or not. The brand, of course, choose the brand using the Asian people for clinical tests. Dr. 23 is 100% for using this Asian people for clinical tests. Then we own a probiotic technology to develop this probiotic is heat and acid resistant, coated 5 layers. So these 5 layers protect the probiotic. They are in a hibernation. So this probiotic is not sugary cultured, not cultured. Our probiotic is not cultured from sugar fermentation. It is extracted from seaweed. So this probiotic you are taking, actually they are in sleeping form. So once you ingest it, your body's heat and acid will wake them up. Then only they have start their lifespan. When they are in the powder form, in the sachet, even you keep there, you expose to some heat, you don't have to put in the refrigerator. They still, because they are still not living thing yet, they are still in the hibernate form. That's why you don't have to worry about it. So we had 16 types of strains together with the prebiotic and symbiotic, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, calcium. So when these three combined together, they function as a functional probiotic. That's called functional probiotic. So they carry out whatever activity in the body is called postbiotic. They will mix a lot of things for you. That's why I said the postbiotic, that means what they can produce for you. They will mix a peptide, amino acid, all these are hormone, everything. They will do for you. So we have 4 types of brand. These are the things. Super, King, Queen, and the kids. You take this. All the range, actually all these 4 categories, suppose whether you are man or woman, I can tell you, just take for them. But of course, the green one, I will advise. When you cannot take certain acid, because sour things, your stomach cannot tolerance. So don't take this first. Take the other 3. You can take the king, the queen, or the kids to alleviate the stomach gas problem. But this is especially good for lower blood cholesterol, blood cholesterol and the sugar level to cut down your body's weight. This is especially good. So we had the books, bilingual. You can buy 15 ringgit. So tonight I'm sharing until here. Any one of you want to ask, can ask.